what makes a great basketball player? Because I think I disagree. What I think makes a great basketball player is what I think a lot of executives think makes a great basketball player. What I think a lot of fans think is a great basketball player is different. Fans are into stats. The media, I think, I see it differently than the media. The media gave Russell Westbrook an MVP because of a triple-double. Well, he had a triple-double last year and didn't get many votes, and this year he averaged a triple-double. He didn't get any votes. If the triple-double's that big, why is he not getting at least a vote? The triple-double's a stat. I do not think it makes you anything other than statistically captivating and interesting. But I'll give you an example. Was Scottie Pippen a great player? Scottie Pippen's career average is 16 points. He was not a great passer. 6 rebounds. But to me, what makes a great player, are you great at something? Scottie Pippen was a great defender. He had great length. He was a great number 2. He was a great finisher. He was incredibly, greatly versatile. Scottie Pippen was not a stat monster. Scottie Pippen was a great player in the NBA. His stats offensively will never be close to Westbrook. He is a much better player than Russell Westbrook. Does stats make the player? I don't think they do. I'll give you another guy. Manu Ginobili is a Hall of Famer. His stats are average. He came off the bench. He won in Argentina. He won in San Antonio. Manu Ginobili is a great player. Scottie Pippen and Manu Ginobili were not great statistically. By the way, you know who was great statistically? Dominique Wilkins. I take Scottie Pippen over Dominique Wilkins. Dominique Wilkins averaged 25 a game. Great dunker. Didn't pass. I mean, you think Kawhi Leonard doesn't pass? Doesn't elevate others. Didn't play defense. Didn't have a lot of shooting range. He could dunk and he could score. I think Pippen's better than Neek. And they're both all-timers. I mean, they're both great players. But what makes a great player? I don't buy into the triple-double. It's a fascinating offensive statistic. But I think it can be manipulated. You can goose your stats. And I don't give a rip if my point guard rebounds. I don't care. In fact, I don't want him rebounding. I don't want him around the bigs. I don't want him around the basket. I want a big to rebound, get it out to my point guard who's 18 feet up the floor, and let's get moving on the break. I don't want my rebounding point guard. I don't want that. So last year, I did a top 10 players in the NBA, and I did not include Westbrook. He was like 13th. And I got a ton of pushback. And so I thought, okay, this year I'll go top 12 players in the NBA. And Westbrook still doesn't make it. And yet he's Mr. Triple-Double. I think Kevin Durant's the best player. LeBron will rebound next year and be the second best player. Giannis third. Steph Curry, Harden, Embiid, Kawhi, Anthony Davis, Paul George, Kyrie, Damian Lillard, and Klay Thompson. By the way, Russell didn't make the 10. He doesn't make the 12. And I also don't include Jimmy Butler because he can't get along with anybody. I'm sorry, it matters. Scottie Pippen and Manu Ginobili were willing to take roles. Scottie was willing. He could have been the number 1 guy on 25 teams. Scottie was like, I'll be the number 2. That makes you a great player. Coachability. Fit. Manu could have started for every team, including San Antonio. And he came off the bench. So, I ask you, what makes a great player? My stamp is never into the triple-double. It can be manipulated. Certain stats, it's almost like when I hear quarterbacks. Oh, Cam Newton leads the NFL in rushing for quarterbacks. Great. I'd rather he actually throw strikes from the pocket. There are certain stats I don't want to have. I don't love that Russell Wilson, last several years, has often been the Seahawks' leading rusher. But in his defense, they've had no running game. He's had to run for his life. Russell Wilson, when Marshawn Lynch was there, was handing the ball to Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn left. The offensive line deteriorated. Russell was trapped. He was running for his life. Cam's had decent O-lines. Cam's had running backs. I don't care if your quarterback leads blank in rushing. We never talk about that with Russell Wilson. I talk about his mobility. I don't talk about his rushing yards. I don't want Cam leading the NFL in rushing. I don't want my guard getting 11 rebounds a game because he's juicing his numbers. I want him up the floor, letting Steven Adams grab it. Wes Unseld it down the floor, and we got ourselves a 2-second fast break, not a 5-second fast break. And by the way, Russell Westbrook's not a great shooter, so I would love for him to be up the floor, allowing him more advantages, more number advantages. Big rebound up. Instead, Russell gets the rebound and has to go 94 feet, and everybody can catch up, forcing Russell to shoot perimeter shots. I'd rather Russell get the ball at half court, boom, fly up the court and have number advantages and get more layups and dunks. That's his strength. So, my 12 players in the NBA, it's not a shot at Westbrook. It's just I didn't have him in the 10, I don't have him in the 12. And yes, I have eliminated Ben Simmons from my top 10 and 12. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.